Gweganoagarono, and welcome to another episode of On the Record. I'm your host, Michael Stock. In studio today, we have Mohawk Council Chiefs Carl Horn and Gusanahaway Sky Deer. Good afternoon. Today we're here to continue a long saga of which we're going to be doing for a lot. We've already covered some of it, the membership issue, and it's been a lot of talk in this community, and it's been a primary discussion, I think, for the last couple of months since the first letters that had gone out to non-natives in the community via community members, and we're here to talk about some of the issues affecting today, what's going to happen tomorrow, and what has happened up to now. So Carl, the last time we were here, you were in the process, or not you, but the Mohawk Council was in the process of handing out 20 some odd letters to non-natives in the community. Give us an update of what happened.
Well, to make a long story short, when I got into council, there was the membership issue that was something that I want to address personally. I decided that, the onus to take it over with the assistance of Chief Rhonda Kirby, who was previously the chief on the file. We worked together closely, and we decided that the individuals that were identified from the year previous, which was brought to the attention by Chief Martin LeBarn at a council meeting, I decided to take the bull by the horn and address these individuals. The official number was 23. At that point, 23 letters were verified. Those names were verified. These individuals were verified to be living in the community. And we took the next step of delivering these letters to the individuals.
Hence, the letters were delivered, and there's been a lot of, I guess, controversy on one side, pro on the other side. The community seems to be divided, again, on this issue. I think it'll always be divided on specific issues, and this is one that definitely is going to stir up the pot, if you want to say that. It's interesting that when I was wondering that you're saying that that individuals were verified living in this community. What was the process that you went through to do that?
Well, for me personally, that's for the other chiefs to answer, because when I took over the file, these individuals were already identified and verified from the previous council. I just took over the file. These individuals were already, like I said, verified, and that's when I took the file over. So that question should be directed to the previous council who had that file. And like I said, I took the file over at that point, and I verified with Chief Rhonda Kirby that these individuals were living here, and that's when I took the next step to make sure letters were delivered. That's
one of the concerns that some community members have, and probably more so that some of the individuals who received the letters. Some were saying that they don't live here at all, and that they were visiting, or they frequented, but they didn't actually live with the person. Right now, there's even some that are saying that the person never was here. Yeah, they come here once in a while, but so does everybody else, but they don't live here. How can you go and say that, well, they were verified, and not knowing if they were verified? What I mean is, some of the questions that the individuals are saying is that that may have been so a year ago, but what happened between that? As a former, I won't say former because, well, yeah, as a former police officer, I can still consider you a police officer because you left to become a council chief, but you're still, I guess, in heart. You have to obviously have some type of tangible information. I mean, just a phone call saying that somebody lives there. What type of, if there was no investigation prior to you being there, or if there was prior to you, how do you know that the information was true when you took it over?
Like I said, once again, like I said, I took the file over from previous chiefs, and they were spoken to. I spoke to them personally, and they verified and confirmed that these individuals were confirmed to be in the territory, living at their residence. The onus should be on the individual that has been identified to come forward to prove that they aren't living here. Mm-hmm. And we're giving them opportunity to do that, either through proof of residency on the outside. I mean, these are complaints. Some are anonymous complaints from community members, and you brought up the police issue. You were a former police officer. Somebody provided an anonymous complaint, and they didn't want their name used or confirmed, we have to respect that. I respect that. If somebody calls with an anonymous complaint saying so-and-so, it's my job to try and take it further and look into the fact, okay, is this person living here?
So on the 23 letters, did you look into, by that statement, did you go and look into whether those individuals were living here, based on what you just said?
Well, I didn't go actually look in their house. I mean, I'm not a veteran police officer or veteran police. These names were confirmed. These 23 individuals were confirmed from the previous council. And I spoke to previous council individuals, and they said that these individuals are living on the territory. That's what I went on, and I stand by that statement.
And again, using that, as a former police officer myself, if somebody did call anonymously and say that this was going on, it's my duty to verify that. Meaning, I'm going to phone them, I'm going to go to their house, I'm going to go and see them wherever they're working, I'm going to investigate from A to Z that I know that this is actually going on, or it did happen. And if I can't, then that person is just stays on paper and never goes anywhere. Is because if I can't verify it, I'm not going to do anything about it. It's the same thing. Is I don't think I don't feel that the onus, and a lot of people are thinking the same thing, that the onus should be on the individual by making a statement that, yeah, you're doing this. Why should they have to prove that they're not? You should have to prove before accusing them that they are in the first place. And I think that's where we are now. And I think a lot of the people are saying, a lot of the individuals in that situation are saying the same thing. They're accusing me of doing something, and nobody's come to my house, nobody's called me, nobody's come here. I asked who made the complaints. They're saying that it's anonymous. Why do I have to prove that I'm doing something wrong when you should have to prove that I'm doing something wrong? And then in that turn, I'll justify it, or I'll prove whether I'm right or not, regardless of the circumstances. You even take information or evidence to any court, they won't even accept it unless you have proof. An anonymous call is not proof. You have to verify it as yourself, whether you're a council chief, whether you're a cop, regardless of the situation. We live in the same community. We see some of these people every single day, and we don't ask them. And one of the individuals, Darrell Leclerc, said exactly that. Prior to even getting the letter for somebody who supposedly was living with him, he's met several times and was in workshops with council chiefs, and nobody's ever said anything to him at all or asked him. And then he says, well, that was strange, because why? I'm sitting in a room with them during an event, and they know that there's supposed to be a letter coming to me or to the person living with it. Nobody even asked me. And then they're telling me that I have to prove that they're not there. So that's what I'm getting at, you know, and that's one of the biggest things right now, is that why do individuals in our community, and it's the community members, not the non-native, that have to, the community members are saying that we have to prove that we're right because they're saying that we're wrong without backing that up. And I want you to answer, but we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after these messages.